Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. I'm Mikel, and today we're going to talk about predictions. We made 25 predictions last year for 2025. What came true, what didn't, and why. Before we get into our 2026 predictions, let's talk about last year's. So, today we're going to go back the 25 predictions I made for 2025, see what happened and what didn't happen. So let's get straight into it. Politics and global conflicts, Ukraine and Russia, peace or war? That was the question in 2025. And unfortunately, at the end of 2025, the war did not end. There were conversations, there were plans, there were speeches, but there was no peace deal. Russia still controls parts of Ukraine. Ukraine refuses to give up its land, and Western countries still send support, but carefully. This prediction was hopeful, as you know, but reality was harder. Lesson, stopping a war is harder than predicting one, so we didn't get that one in 2025. Trade war with Trump. Remember we talked about trade tensions continued during 2025. There was a trade war. It wasn't a full trade war like the past, but countries used better tools. They knew how to manipulate him, so things got pretty hard, but didn't get as hard as we thought. So this one is partially true. Okay, this was partially true, but a little exaggerated. We didn't get a full-blown trade war, right? We also said at number 3, Emmanuel Macron staying in power. This prediction came true. He barely hung on to power, but Macron stayed president in 2025. His power is weaker. Parliament pushed back, protest continues, but he survived politically and struggled. So this is what happened. Sudan's war. This prediction was very accurate. The war in Sudan continued through 2025. Millions of people have been displaced. The world did not pay any attention to it, or very little attention, but the world apparently can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So that happened. Israel attacks Iran's nuclear sites. This prediction did come true. Remember in 2025, Israel carried out direct strikes on Iranian nuclear and military targets. It was mostly involved with the United States. Remember, the United States bombed nuclear sites in Iran. So this did come true. Economy and business, U.S. interest rates fall. Well, the United States interest rates did not fall much in 2025. Inflation was still a problem. The central bank run by Powell, Powell, he stayed cautious. Loans stayed expensive. Housing is still difficult in the U.S., but this prediction was mostly wrong. Fighting inflation is a much more difficult problem than people expect. So, no, the United States interest rates did not fall. Europe's economy recovery. We predicted that we would recover, but Europe did not collapse because of all the tariffs, all of the trade things that were going on. Growth was weak. Germany struggled very much. Southern Europe, we're talking Portugal, Italy, and Spain, did slightly better. This prediction was uncertain and still is. So and still is, and we already know this prediction was uncertain. But right now, Europe isn't doing very, very well. China's economy slowdown. This prediction was correct. So China kept growing, but much more slowly than before. People spent less. The government used stimulus to have people buy things. They wanted the Chinese people to buy more things. China did not crash like everyone was predicting, but the fast growth model is over. China won't be growing at 12% or 8%. Some are saying more less than 5 and 4% in the future. And Germany softens its debt rules. Germany debated its strict debt rules all year. We predicted that they would change it, and they did. So there wasn't a big break, but they did change its debt rules. So in 2025, Germany is spending more and worrying less about debt. Bitcoin, we predicted Bitcoin at $200,000. Bitcoin did not reach $200,000. I think the highest it got up to 100,000 and went down even down to 77,000. So a very volatile stock. So yeah, too optimistic, I think. $200,000, no. Technology and information. Number 11, AI assistants became normal. So this prediction was very accurate. AI assistant help people write emails, plan trips, study, work faster. AI became boring, and when it becomes boring, it means it works. I think I'm not going to talk about my prediction for 2026 because I have a lot of thoughts on that one. Number 12, big tech growth slows. Yes, a lot of companies slowed down. Most of 2025 was fueled by AI, especially in the US. Most companies were moving towards AI. Stocks didn't grow very much. They still stayed powerful. Competition increased, cost increased. Investors became more careful. This was mostly true. Prediction number 13. Big Hollywood merger. Big Hollywood merger. There was pressure. There was some massive deals. We saw in 2025 that Netflix bought Warner Brothers Studio. That's still pending, but it's looking more and more so that it's a done deal. We said that CDs would make a comeback. Yeah, we're being sort of funny, I guess, because vinyl albums did come back, but no, CDs are not a thing. Streaming is still a thing, so that's not happening. Digital shopping events, this is absolutely true. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, these became huge events. People are buying way more online than they did in 2024. Climate and energy, did China's emissions go down? Yes, they did. China's emissions did go down only because it's higher use of renewable energy. China invested highly in renewable, but emissions slightly fell a little bit, not to the extent that most of the world wanted to, but that could be a trend that changes in 20. Again, I'm not going to say anything, but that could be a trend that changes in 2026. Electric cars reached 25% of sales. Almost correct. Electric vehicles came close to 25% of global sales. As you know, in Denmark, electric cars represent about 90% of all cars in the country. So we're getting closer to that, but electric cars came close to 25% of global sales. China led, Europe followed, but the US is moving a lot slower. So that electric cars is going to be a thing. It's a thing. It's not going to be a thing. It's a thing. Climate migration increases. Yes, this is absolutely true. Floods, heat waves, storms. More people were forced to leave their homes. Governments struggle to respond to these issues. So yeah, climate migration did increase. So you will see more and more of it as we continue on. Cities add more green spaces. Yes, this is true. Cities did added more trees, parks, and green roofs. Expanded in many cities, not everywhere, but enough to notice. Where I live, definitely added more green spaces. Carbon labels on products. Well, yes, but no. It's very, very slow. It's to say that, right, we want carbon labels to be more common. When you buy a product, you want to know how much energy was used or how much carbon was omitted to know if you wanted to buy that product. Because if you know a certain product emits X amount of carbon, right, you would have to make a choice whether you wanted to continue to buy this product. It's a thing, but it's not a thing, if that makes sense. It's something that hasn't fully caught hold yet. We don't know. We'll see. Remote work, number 21, remote work. Yes, people are still working remotely or hybridly. I know many professionals who work 3 days in the office, 2 days at home, and they can change the order in which they want. So it did not disappear, but it changed. Open offices didn't disappear, but as you know, open offices where everyone is in the open, that didn't disappear, but it did change. So no. Number 23, I thought this was a good one. Spicy food. Is spicy food popular in 2025? Yes, spicy food is stayed popular. You know, social media does play a large part where you see these people do like spicy food challenges. That happened. So, and I'm not life changing, but fun. No, I thought it would be a good one to put in there. Number 24, psychedelics as medicine. Yes and no. Again, this we try to predict that this would become more of a thing, but there have been some treatments were approved in limited cases, but it's not mainstream yet. We'll see what happens in 2026. And number 25, people leave social media. No, people have not left social media, but behavior seems to have changed. Smaller platforms grew, like Blue Sky, like Threads, like Substack, which I am subscribed to. People left the more larger ones and went to smaller ones, a little more intimate. But no, people are not leaving social media yet. We'll see what happens in 2026. But remember, people don't leave the connection. They just change how they're connected, which is a different thing. So, what did 2025 teach us? Most predictions were partly right, and I'm being very generous with partly because a lot of them did not come true. Very few were completely wrong. Some of them were a lot wrong, and almost none were perfectly right. That's so good. The future doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives unevenly, quietly, and with consequences. So, what will happen in 2026? On our next podcast, we'll talk about that. Happy New Year, and I wish you the best for 2026. I'm Mikael, and this is what I learned today. Bye.